Hey all, Hipper here. So there was some unexpected news today on the World of Warship Legends website, and it is, the birth of what appears to be a development blog. And this is the best news in a long time, and I mean, it's something that especially the CCs have been harping on about for a long time now, probably years. It's just a blog where, Wargaming puts up stuff that's, in progress or under construction in the game and with no timelines or anything like that. Just a bit of, a teaser for what's coming up. And I'm very happy about that. What they decided to tease this time is like a little bit less important to me, really, which is the new pan-European destroyer line, which is not really a surprise to anyone since they've been testing the ships live on the servers for the last week or so. But the development blog in itself is really cool, and I'm really happy it's here, and I hope they're going to actually make good use of it. So pan-European destroyers, which really is Scandinavian destroyers, really, at least all of the destroyers in there, as far as I know, are Swedish, with a bit of Norwegian and Danish help, by the way. Anyway, so of course there's a whole tech tree, and these destroyers, very fast torpedoes, medium damage, no smoke generator, medium caliber, fast firing main battery, powerful anti-air, and access to repair party. So kind of seems like sort of Frieslands with torpedoes, which seems very interesting actually, I think so. In any case, it'll be nice to have another line in the game with perhaps some new commanders as well. Don't know, but I'm hoping. Oh, it's not true that all the destroyers are completely Swedish. Like the tier 1 and the tier 2 are actually Spanish and Polish and Swedish, a bit of a mix of everything, but there's a bit of Swedish in all of them. Let's just put it that way. Alright, so the tier 1 pan-European destroyer is the Griff, which is a really weird name, and it sounds like a dog name really to me. And yeah, it's a tier 1, and that's about it. I'm not too excited about this ship here. I will go through the whole tech line here, and I will pronounce the ships as well, especially for Aaron. Now, Swedish and Danish and Norwegian pronunciation is slightly different, and I know these ships are really Swedish, but if we put Denmark and Norway together, then there's more of us, so we decide the pronunciation. No, I'm kidding, but I'll try to do both. So the tier 2 is the Romulus, which is more of a Mediterranean name actually, and I guess it was built for the Italian Navy, so I guess that makes sense. Not much to talk about here, and I mean, I want to try the ships in action before I give any sort of judgment anyway. Alright, so on to the tier 3, which is the Class 1. And I remember hearing about this ship, but man, I don't remember anything other than the name, because it's kind of a strange name as well. I have no idea who Claes Horn is, but I'm assuming it's some famous Swedish dude. Alright, the tier 4 is in Swedish the Visby, and in Danish the Visby, or Norwegian for that matter. And again, I mean, there's no modules or anything like here, so it's hard to give any sort of judgment, but it looks kind of cool. Alright, that brings us to the tier 5, and now we enter like the area of ships that are a little bit more difficult to pronounce. So in Swedish, this one is the Westeros, and in Danish and Norwegian, it is the Westeros. So very different, but yeah, kind of similar as well. Both are correct, so pick the one you want. Next up is the Schone in Danish, which is named after a part of Sweden that Denmark actually used to own. So yeah, a little bit of history for you there. In Swedish it's the Schone, and it's the tier 6, and this one actually seems pretty good on PC, so I'm quite excited to try this one out. Alright, that brings us to the tier 7, and probably the most interesting one to pronounce. So in Swedish, this one is the Yutland, And in Danish, and I think in Norwegian as well, I'm not sure about this, but it's Östergötland. So again, pick the one that you prefer. I mean, the Swedish one is technically the correct one, but again, we won't give them the satisfaction. And just a word of warning here, if you're lazy and you change the first vowel into an O, this ship here becomes Östergötland, and that means cheese Gotland. So like, you really have to, you know, pronounce it correctly, otherwise it means something completely different, pretty much like the French ships. Alright, and in the end we have another carrier, the USS Independence, and it's at tier 5, and that's about all there is to say about that, because I am not playing carriers, and I have no interest in them whatsoever, and I fully appreciate that some people do, but I don't. Anyway, that was the Pan-European DD line, including pronunciations, so hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.